All right, I'm Harry Fibblestein
Yeah.
from Milton Cow Studios in Des Moines, Iowa.
Sounds great.
I got into producing and working with bands just from messing with recording equipment from a young age. And I mean, as young as 5, I was messing with 4-track tapes and like a Fostex X15. It was like a 2-channel mixer. From there, when I was 14, which would have been in 94, I opened up a studio in my basement, did a lot of hardcore bands. By the time I started recording, I was a fan of like Death and Cynic and Atheist and Pestilence and pretty much any sort of tech metal that's out there. And then I moved to Florida in 98, dropped out of Full Sail, opened up the studio here, and it opened in 2000. I was recording some death metal bands. I had done Monstrosity, and I had done Burning Inside, and I had become friends with God Forbid in 98. I tracked a song for them, recorded the Trivium demos, and then, as soon as the Ascendancy came out, that was kind of the magical explosion of it all. My most memorable studio moment was Cynic coming down here in 2008 and Paul and Sean hanging out, and I was mixing the demo for Integral Birth, Adam's Murmur, and Evolutionary Sleeper. And I love those songs just the way they are. So anyone who hasn't heard the demo and then bought the just the versions, bum me out, only because I'm so used to that was the best time of my life. So you're not going to take that away by show me an album version, dude. That's ridiculous, So there's that. That was my most memorable studio moment, because those guys, Cynics, they have a lot to do with a lot in my life about what I like in music. They played on my favorite Death album. They upped my standards for everything. I would say that the thing that I learned most from my peers in the industry is more of developing a close network of friends that you trust, that are just comfortable talking about each other's mixes to each other, because it's hard to know sometimes, because you're listening to something 8 million times, and it's good to have best friends that you can send stuff to check out. I feel like everyone feels the same way sometimes, and it's cool to have those people to shoot things off of. And then you find out maybe sometimes you're doing things the same way as other people, and sometimes different. So I think it's good to just have that network of people you trust. What people can expect from this tone pack is you're going to get the full Suecof experience, which is every single head that I sampled through 3 cabs. So we have 2 Mesa oversized traditionals, one with a Marshall Voice Vintage 30 and a creamback, one with all Mesa Voice Vintage 30s, and then there is a 5153 cab, all with Vintage 30s, 16 ohm. And it's all Celestion speakers in all the cabs. Also as well, there's a good amount of heads. It is my favorite PV amps, pretty much. Almost all of my 6505/5152s. I got a custom head, a Marshall or 2, and I got some dirty diesel tones. And for the pedal selection, there's an OD808X and OD808. There's a Peepers pedal Dirty Tree. Most importantly, a Dirty Tree is on it, and that's what makes life good. When I'm working on a guitar tone, I'm looking to make sure that the guitar is also part of the bass tone. I try to make sure that they complement each other, but also the bass plays a big part in the low end of my guitar. So it's not super, beefy in the low end, because that usually eats up what I want for bass. But it's always, I want to make it the right amount of chunk for each guitarist I work with, because depending on how hard they pick, Sometimes it can get overbearing, so that's why I included presets with and without the pedal. I was never even a fan of tube screamers and stuff like that. Sometimes I'll use it, sometimes I won't. More so for solos, for me personally. What makes a guitar tone unique to me is the guitarist and how they play guitar, and how, if they know how to use the tone, that's what makes a good guitar tone. You know immediately when a guitar tone hurts and you just don't want to hear it ever again. So I think it's not about what's a good guitar tone, because there's so many different layers of what's a good guitar tone. It's about how it fits in the album, and as long as it sounds good to you. My favorite guitar and cab setup, primarily over the past couple of years, I would say one of the 5150, 6505s, 6534 combinations. Guitar-wise, at least over the past couple of years, I've been using Kiesels, and sometimes bands bring in other guitars, and we use those. But I have two Kiesels here that I like a lot that always sound sick immediately. I think y'all are gonna like this pack. I think it's sick. I think it's got a good variety of distorted tones. It's got a couple of dirty tones in there, like in between tones. I don't have any clean tones. I think they're gonna like that a man with a heart as big as Delaware came out and said, "Hey, I'm gonna make tones for people I don't even know." That's why we're here.